Hey y'all, it's Liv La Nina, and today I'm here with a special review. I'm going to be reviewing an anime film this evening. Of course, none other than My Hero Academia, You're Next. All right, so if you've seen my other review of an anime film, I don't do these the same way that I do my series reviews. So there's like not a list of questions that I give scores to individually and add them up. I just give a score related to the film overall. So for My Hero Academia, You're Next, I actually gave this one a 6. Let me just offer a small disclaimer. Um, I will say, out of all animes that are currently airing right now, or just like animes of this time period, My Hero Academia is by far my favorite. Okay. It is actually in my top 5 animes of all time. But for current animes, it's number one. And if there's any anime that's going to get a 10, it would be My Hero Academia. So I love the series. This is not a slight to the series at all. It's just for this film. And this is why it felt out of place. Simple. Okay, super brief synopsis of the movie. This movie follows Class 1A as they face off against Dark Might. And Dark Might is aiming to be the new symbol of peace, symbol of everything, right? So how we got here is because when All Might was fighting All for One, you remember that scene where he pointed at the camera and was like, you're next. Everybody in the world thought that All Might was talking to them, right? So Dark Might is one of those people. He was like, oh yeah, you're right. I am next. So this is what we're going to do. So Dark Might is working with a crime family, and they have a girl who, if you touch her and you're compatible with her, she essentially enhances your quirk. And she's being forced to do evil against her will. So that's the whole little plot, because there's somebody that's trying to handle that. And then, Class 1A is trying to handle them and that. So, that's pretty much the story in a nutshell, right? So the reason I give this such a low number is because to me, it just does not fit with the flow of the story of My Hero Academia. And, canon, not canon, regardless, I feel like all of the previous My Hero Academia movies, they were good. And I could see that story from the movie, being a series of episodes in the show. So when I say I feel like Your Next didn't fit, it was not at all on par with the show and what was happening. It was like, Dark Might came in on this floating ship, and it was like a whole bunch of bright colors, and it was just like over the top to me. And I was like, I could not see this being an episode of My Hero Academia. Like I couldn't see this being, like a subplot of like 10 episodes. Like with Gentle, like that, that was like different, but okay, it fit. This to me, it was just too fantastical. It was too much fantasy for me. And this is not to say that the movie was bad, right? Because the movie was good. It was enjoyable. It was a lot of fighting. It was a lot of action. Bakugo was, comedic as ever. You know, Great showcase of talent, great showcase of Class 1A and how far they've come from season one as far as being heroes and working as a team for sure. So that part, the movie itself was good. I rank it so low because I just don't like the direction it took. And like, Rotten Tomatoes actually gives this it has a pretty high score. It's pretty well rated. But for me, I walked out of the theater just feeling like, I don't know. It was just kind of, like I said, it just didn't really fit to me. It doesn't fit with where it's placed in My Hero Academia, taking place like before, this final battle that's going on now. If you're watching the anime, it's already over if you're reading the manga. But for it to be right there, it just seemed out of place. That's the best way I can describe it. And again, this is coming from someone who loves My Hero Academia. Like, again, if any show is going to get a 10 from me, it will be this. But compared to, some of the other movies, it was just like this one, I don't know what they were trying to do with this one, but I wasn't feeling it. I didn't catch the vibe. So even comparing this among the previous movies, Two Heroes, Heroes Rising, The World's Heroes Mission, I it just it pales in comparison to those other movies. I think those other movies were way better. They kind of fit in with the mood and the ambiance of the show. This one just was like way left field for me. I was like, whoa, what is this? Like, this is really a lot for me. But again, just that's not taken away from the movie itself. It still gets a 6 on its own merit, but those other numbers that are missing, the 7, 8, 9, 10, yeah, it's just because it was just kind of like, I don't know. This one has me stumped, y'all. Honestly, I was excited to see this movie. I was excited about doing the review, and then I saw it, and it was just wow. But again, it's not a bad movie. This is not to deter anybody from seeing it. This is not saying that it's a bad movie by itself. I'm giving the rating in the context, which I guess I'm kind of going against what I said, because it's not the series, so I shouldn't be rating it as far as like it's a part of the series. But I am rating it that way because, like I said, I thought the previous movies were a lot better. They were a lot more cohesive with the series, and this one I just felt was not. It just seemed like they were it was its own little team that developed this movie that did something completely different from the show. And for some people, I mean, that might have been a thing. You might have wanted to get like a little switch up because this current season is pretty heavy. It is pretty serious, so maybe this was a way to kind of give some light, among that. But for me, I was a little disappointed. I'm not gonna lie to you, but again, it's not a bad movie. I definitely recommend you still seeing it if you haven't already, especially if you like it. And hopefully, this sparked some discussion. I would definitely love to know what you thought about the movie and how you thought it was, for sure. Because this is just my opinion. I'm just one person. Um, if you haven't seen it, there is a very short post-credit scene. So just be aware of that if you want to stick around and see that. But yeah, this is definitely what I want to talk about. So let me know how you felt in the comments below. Like, and if you're not already, subscribe. And I'll be back with another review soon.